Hey, Jess and Morphew. I'm not at the beach like Kinsey's. I wasn't at Kinsey who did those two videos with the beach. I am at my house and the sunshine is so bright in my back window coming in. And I thought, well, let me see if I can fix the background. So I did, and it kind of goes with what I'm wearing right now. Um, but I don't like the way it does my eyes. It does something weird with your eyes if you have glasses on. Anyway, and your fingers if you go too far. Well, maybe that one didn't show, but see how your things can disappear? I'm babbling. I thought that you had so many bonus points, and then I just immediately went and your final reflection was there. It was awesome. And because you like to absorb lots of knowledge and see what can work with you, I want to give you a couple of tips on MLA writing or the APAs. A lot of it's the same structure. And I want to tell you that if you ever need a third set of editing eyes, yeah, use the Learning Center. But if you need another someone to see your drafts or chat about a question, I was a writing teacher forever and ever. And if I don't know or don't know if I'm up on all the latest, I will tell you. But please know that I'm here for you because you're pretty cool and you want to learn and do better. And that just pleases me to no end. Okay, I'm going to share your document. And just because I'm a geek, I got excited and I thought, oh, I could tell her this. Remember that specific praise and specific critique that is said in a kind way is going to be very helpful. And if I can, put in your heart kind, helpful, and specific feedback, we're not judging someone else. We're saying, hey, you might consider this. And that's going to make a big difference. All right. You started your paper. This was perfect. You have this in the same font, even the page number in the same font as the paper. MLA used to have only Times New Roman, but a few years ago they opened it up, and Times New Roman was the only font that our typewriters used. But the currently there's like three different things that APA or MLA will require. So that's why the font needs to be the same as the paper. If this is Calibri, that needs to be Calibri. If it's just Times New Roman, that needs to be Times New Roman. You started one low. I see this cursor blinking here. The Jessica should be up at the top. I didn't take points off for this. I'm just telling you. Or I could take points off for it and then give you an exemplar. All MLA, unless your instructor says that a paper needs to be in what they call block setting, all MLA will be indented at the first paragraph. Boom, boom. I mean, it's obvious where your paragraphs are. There you go. Okay. The spacing between these four lines and this paragraph, little extra spacing there, little extra spacing there. I call it having an extra gap, or it's just the spacing's different. And then these are not, if I went to the tool, watch this, I'm going to highlight these guys. If I went to the up and down arrow, it would say it's double spaced. But I'm going to, because of those extra gaps between the works cited entries, between the paragraphs, I'm going to do Command A. If you're on a Dell, it'll be Control A, and it just selected the whole paper. You could also scroll and get the whole paper. I got the whole paper selected, and here's an up and down arrow. Instead of going here and double spacing, I'm going to go to the page section, the setting that says line spacing options. And I want to make sure that this is 0000. This could be blank too, that's fine. Oh, it says single. Something's on single in the paper. I'm going to make sure this says double. See, this is a page where you can set all of your line spacing, indents, your line spacing, page breaks, all that. But I'm going to do this one button. I do double here. I also say, click this box on Don't add space between paragraphs of the same style. If I do that and click OK, now I gotta have to fix my works cited because it went up a little bit. I'm gonna just go, I mean, I manually can go just down, down. If I was still writing my paper, I would do insert page break, which is on the Word document here. Insert page break. I'll show you page break. Or you could pull down to break and then page break. Those are little tricks. This looks beautiful now. See how it's really double spaced and not that extra? Okay. Last thing I want to tell you is I want you to do like a flow. This second citation actually fits. To my surprise, I received an 89. Miss Morphew suggested I do this. So you could say, you don't have to change that one. That one's fine. But if you could say, the few points for the few points I missed, Miss Morphew suggested I use this. You see how that transitional phrase kind of makes it flow? A couple of the other ones were just kind of stuck in there and they could use a little transition. This one's good. It was nice to set some goals. Next sentence, I strive that day forward for this. That's perfect. Okay. Let's see. I was excited in the beginning of the semester. I didn't know what to expect. I was beyond nervous, scared, and all I want. If you had put something like, I wrote blah, 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 or in my personal journal, I wrote blah, 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 and then you put parentheses and just the date. By the way, in real MLA, the current trend, it used to be to put the author, comma, and the date of the article or whatever, but so many web pages don't have it. I think that's why they changed that. They just put the author's last name, or if it's not an author, it's the organization's last name. So that's how they do that. Always have someone check that works cited in your citings in your internal citations in your papers. So did you see how if I just put that little uh, something about I wrote blah blah blah, it would flow. This is another one that needed flow. The great art shop, yeah, 100. And maybe instead of another wonderful tip here, the way that it just put in there, you could have said, um, I even got another wonderful tip. So it's not really a transition in that case. It's like adding a little sentence, making this a sentence. Okay. I only have one more idea to share, by the way. Here's another one, which is a shame because I'm sure I'll have more assignments like that in the near future. The feedbacks, or my friend said, oh, that was a journal. I wrote in my journal, look up and download expository links. Okay. I don't know how that fits. So just make it like a sentence and it makes them. And then this last one, my greatest help was when I FaceTime with Jenna. Oh, by the way, if the Word doc says it's a red line, you check because all you have to do, I just rolled over it and your Word docs will do this. You can just say, okay, fix that to that. But you have to decide like this one. Oh, it needs a comma. Okay, got it. And to everything to the right setting. But that's in a quote. So you don't change it. You just wrote it that way. You choose whether you fix something or not based on what something is said. Okay, now I really only have one more tip. I'll tell you what, I'm going to ask you if this can be an exemplar and I can adapt and make it an exemplar because I love all of the things that you said. Um, and I will probably adapt it by fixing those a couple little things like that. But the one thing that took off 5 points on this thing was the comma up here, personal journal, comma, June, video feedback, comma. Okay. So that's the only thing that took off points. And since I took off 5 and I gave you 5 for a bonus, you have another 100 and you are awesome. Thank you for tolerating the fact that I just kind of geeked out and felt like I wanted to share with you more information so that you can continue to use it and to share with you the invite to know that I'm here for you. Let me look at your work if you'd like. You're cool.